This one he got out of hand fairly quickly. August 30th at 3:30 p.m., we have the Florida State Seminoles, who are coming off of a 2-10 season where everything went to the crapper, versus the perennial powerhouse, who are going into the second season of their new head coach, Kalen DeBoer, coming off a 9-4 season, which had a lot of disappointment, but also a lot of highs, where they will battle it out with two new quarterbacks for each team, respectively. Now, talking about Florida State, the main addition from a player personnel perspective is Thomas Castellanos, the transfer from Boston College, who was benched after Bill O'Brien decided to pivot to Grayson James. And Castellanos now arrives at Florida State with the new offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn, who fits his game perfectly. When you think of Gus Malzahn, you're going to think about the likes of what he did with Nick Marshall at Auburn, that back in 2013 got to a national championship against Florida State. The thing with Castellanos, and the thing that Florida State could potentially do to win this game, is use the blueprint that has been the kryptonite to Alabama for the better part of the last 20 years, which is having a quarterback who is a true dual threat and is able to create plays out of structure with his legs. And Thomas Castellanos fits that description. He fits that Johnny Manziel mold. He fits, even last season, going to Jackson Arnold, what he was able to do when Oklahoma played Alabama, using his legs and not having to beat Bama throwing the football. Castellanos can do that if need be, but I think given that it's week one, I feel like Bama has prepared for that. And if they haven't, I'll be greatly shocked, because let's be real here. Everyone knows Florida State's going to try to use him in a similar way that Oklahoma did with Jackson Arnold to try and get a win. Use the home crowd, use the home field advantage, and let your quarterback run down their throats and create big plays with his legs. But I think that will be successful in the first half. I don't think it will be successful the whole game, given the level of talent on Alabama's defense. You have the likes of Deontay Lawson. I think Tim Keenan was cleared. You have Bray Hubbard. You have Keon Sabb. You have Damani Jackson. You have Xavier Brown. This is a defense that is loaded and returning a lot of production from last year, where they've heard all offseason that they were the worst Alabama team in the better part of 15 plus years. They're motivated and they want to regain that standard and show that Kalen DeBoer is the man to lead the new era of Alabama football, which I think he is. And I think this defense will be more than prepared with Kane Womack to be able to stop Thomas Castellanos and limit the big playability he can create with his legs, because I think in terms of throwing the ball, Alabama backed themselves 1,000%. I think if Thomas Castellanos has to throw the football, Alabama is easily winning this game. But if he's able to use his legs, that's when Bama's in trouble. Now moving on to the Alabama offensive side of football. You have the likes of Ty Simpson, who is coming into the starting role for the first time in his career in a hostile environment in Tallahassee. But I think Ty Simpson's just been waiting on this moment, and I think he is going to ball out. Way better thrower than Jalen Milroe, and a sneaky athlete. He will be able to make plays with his legs, but he's also going to be able to beat you with throwing the football. You will not be able to do what teams were able to do last year in terms of getting Jalen Milroe to throw, make mistakes, or be inaccurate. I think Ty Simpson does not have those same concerns. I think he will be accurate. I think he will make the right play most of the time. And it helps when you have probably the best offensive line in the country with Caden Proctor, Parker Brailsford, and then you have one of the best receiving rooms in the country with Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard. Alabama's loaded. And in terms of talent, this shouldn't even be a contest because Bama is completely loaded both sides of the football, which is why I am picking the Alabama Crimson Tide to win this game 38-20. They're a 13.5 point favorite. I think they cover that. And I think this is easily a good win to start the season and something to build off of early on in the season, especially the first 3 games where Bama should win those games and be ready to go September 27th against the Georgia Bulldogs, which I believe will be their first true test to see if Alabama's capable of winning a national championship.